So, Solomon, can you tell us the difference between meditation and prayer, and then energetically, when you send more love and more concern into the world and you heighten that in a form of a prayer to others, how is that received beyond this existence?
It is received through a vibratory state. In other words, it is more about the feeling that you are putting into your prayer than the words of the prayer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Meditation is often used to bring silence to one's world, to one's mind. Prayer is often used to request this or that from another realm, from God, from whoever you are asking for something from. We are encouraging you to begin to perhaps utilize the idea of prayer in a slightly different way. Rather than asking for something in particular, we suggest feeling in your heart, not hearing in your mind or reading words in your mind, grabbing for vocabulary in your mind that represents that which you desire, but to really feel that which you desire in your energetic field. It is in your energetic field that you and your prayers are received. Not through the words that you are putting out there, not for the requesting of anything. You already have all that you need. You just simply need to get yourself in alignment with it. And the best way to do this is to sit in the feeling of it. Does this make sense?
Yes and no. Yes and no, because I guess yes, the feeling and sitting and pouring from the heart and sitting and surrender and just being, I get that. But the second part of there's an expectation as a human that's, I guess, desired or wanted for validation or for moving forward. Is that wrongful thinking?
It is not wrong. No. It is not wrong. There is nothing wrong with this. We are simply suggesting that the potential of your prayers being answered is greater if you bring the power of receiving what you're desiring back into your own realm, back to you, allowing yourself to know that in every situation, the choice is yours. Now you have the choice to align with that prayer or to not. If there is an expectation that you need to get that prayer answered by someone other than yourself, then you are disempowering yourself. There is guidance, yes. There is support, yes. There is always support. We are here, yes, supporting. But we are trying to bring to you the idea of self-empowerment, that you can align with source, with that thing that you're praying to, that being that you're praying to. You can align with that and bring those answers to you yourself simply by being open to the potential that your prayer has been answered. Does this make sense?
Much more sense, yes. Yes, much more sense. Because I think as a knee-jerk, sometimes we all at some point feel like we need approval, whether it's from other people or ourselves, or whether we have obstacles, when in fact if we just decide and realize it's for the greater good and the greater good within us, then that's all that's really needed. I guess it's the recognition of that, and then allowing and take pleasure in that the answers will come and you're in the right direction. So I guess it's a recognition of the process of a prayer, and to, I guess, take away any kind of obstruction from that would get in the way of one's desires or needs.
Yes, and we understand that this is part of the process for many of you. We are simply putting a little bit of a different spin on here. in this idea of prayer. And there's nothing wrong with asking. We are simply saying that that is the long way to get there. There is a shortcut. Acknowledge the presence of those that you are praying to. Open the door to communication, knowing that the support is there. But within that room that you have now entered, you can walk directly to your answered prayer. We are there supporting you on that journey. We're there opening up doors for you on that journey. But all we need is the trust from you that we exist. From there, you walk through the door. Does this help clarify?
Yes, and the hardest part was the what you said last, to acknowledge that we are a soul being and that you exist. Yes, because that's who we really are. And I guess the lie is reversed. That's more real than what we have right now. Yes, I understand that. It's just difficult at times.
Yes. Yes. All these answers are not going to necessarily come to you right now. But just understand that as the human consciousness evolves, as the human family evolves, so too will the idea of prayer. So too will the idea of ascended masters. So too will the idea of you. It all evolves. Certain ways of doing something 100 years ago may not make as much sense today. So evolving means evolving completely, not just bits and pieces. Does this make sense?
Not evolving. Explain. Not evolving bits and pieces and the whole thing, meaning explain.
Evolving is the term we are choosing to represent the idea of the human consciousness moving in a slightly different direction from what it has been in the past. In other words, increasing the vibration from a collective level. This is what we are talking about when we use the word evolving. So as you move into a higher vibration, so too will all the ideas that exist currently on your planet. For example, the idea of prayer will be different today than it is 2 minutes from now, than it is 2 days from now, than it is 2 years from now. It is all changing together. In other words, getting stuck in a, let's use the word ritual of how something has been done for centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries does not necessarily mean that that particular way of doing something cannot shift and change as well as the idea of it shifts and changes. There will be a common thread that leads you back to that quote-unquote ritual, that prayer. The idea of it will remain the same, but how it's enacted may slightly change.
Yes, that makes sense.